Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This business is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution list. That way you'll know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and what barrel picks they have in the works. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we talk about winemaker Gallo's investment in bourbon. My name is McNew.
Winnermaker. Hey, they're going to turn this thing into a winner. So I think that it's still could be right.
The script says to you, Steve Akeley, and our special guests, Kaylee Baker, Kathy Cole, and Katie Joyce.
Hey, gang, what's up?
That.
I just keep reading the script.
Wow.
They do make winners.
Wrong.
That's
It's
right.
That took a lot of effort.
It says, it
winners.
says winner maker.
It does say winner maker.
Winemaker.
Yeah. Well, I'll blame it on spell check, even though I typed it in a document.
Winner is a proper word. It probably would have caught that.
There you go.
But,
So,
okay,
all right.
I'll let you have it.
Very good. All right. Well, we've got a fun show today. We're going to be talking about Gallo getting in the bourbon business now. They're kind of getting in a little bit of everything. They seem to be investing heavily in a lot of stuff, and we'll talk about that and what brand they invested in. We'll get to that after the break. For right now, Kathy said there's something she wanted to talk about. What is that, Kathy?
It is. So I live in a suburb where there are fences all around me.
Okay.
And so I have a lot of
you're in a straitjacket much of the time.
Right.
Go ahead.
Do you live in a prison?
Yeah.
Someday. Goals. But no, fences, but I can still see my neighbors.
Expressing yourself to the best of your ability. Now you're living in correctional facility.
I would like to say that seeing neighbors is the worst thing
Seeing
ever
neighbors
in life.
Yeah.
I have a lot of neighbors that I can see from my backyard.
Okay.
What is the strangest thing you've seen your neighbors do?
Okay. I'll go first. I used to have a crazy neighbor that lived next door to me. He doesn't anymore. He passed away, unfortunately. But one day, we used to have Sunday breakfast at my house, and it was over. And this was back when my grandma was alive. So it was my grandma, my mom, and my dad. And all of a sudden, my neighbor opens his door, and he's got his van parked in his driveway. And all of a sudden, he runs. And he's just wearing a pair of the old-fashioned tighty-whities, and that's it. No top, and just the tighty-whities. And he runs, he sees it, and I guess he thinks he can run real fast and no one will see him. And
Real
he
fast.
Runs, yeah, and he runs with his arms up above him. So his arms are like this as he's running.
It makes you run faster.
Yeah, I guess it makes you run faster. So he runs
So
to the
for
car.
those of you who can't see what Steve is doing, it is replicating the run of a chimpanzee.
Yeah, his arms are over his head like that. So he gets in his van. And my dad was like, we're not leaving. We got to see how this thing ends. So my grandma gets in her car and she leaves. She doesn't even see it. My grandma's like oblivious to it because she's, like 80 at the time. She missed the whole thing. And so my neighbor, Hank, I think he was trying to wait us out. But Hank decides, I guess they're going to wait. So I'll just run real fast again. So sure enough, he gets out of there. Whatever he had to get out of his car, I guess he grabbed it. He runs back in his house, just in a pair of, and we just sat there and watched the whole thing. Yeah.
What's the name of the sock man that waves his arms like at car dealerships?
Yeah.
Inflatable flailing
the inflatable car man.
Tubular guy.
Yeah.
flailing
Inflatable
inflatable
wailing
arm
arm guy.
tubular guy. Yeah, that's what he looked like. Yeah. My mom still will talk about that. If you ever ask her about that,
Did you
I'm
ever
hankering to
ask
come.
him, like, where were you
No.
going, man?
No, because I didn't. I wanted him to think that he was that fast that he got away with it. So I wanted him. I wanted him to be able to sleep at night. So I acted like I didn't see that. So yeah, I gave him his dignity. Yeah, I gave him the gift of dignity. How about
That
That
was
was
kind
nice of you.
that? Was kind of me.
Very kind. Very
Yes.
kind.
Yes. If I would have called him out, he would have known we saw, and then he could have been embarrassed. But I didn't. I never did that to him. I let him keep his dignity. So yeah, how about that? All right, Katie, do you ever have anything crazy neighbor situations?
I do. So I grew up living in the country. I live my life avoiding neighbors if possible. But unfortunately, I got divorced at the end of 2020, and my ex kept the property with the acreage, and I moved to a subdivision. It made the most sense just living on my own. So I now have neighbors. So now I do have an interesting, even when I lived out on acreage, I did have an interesting that my neighbor across the street all of a sudden was knocking on the door one day, stating there was a medical emergency across the road, and that she believed her husband needed CPR, I guess, and she needed help with it. And she thought he was having like a heart attack. That was not the case. And
He just had
basically,
gas. Yeah.
it was, he had taken too much of a certain medication, and it ended up being a very interesting situation. And so like
Legal medication?
Was it over?
so it
Did it
was
last over 4 hours? Because if
Right.
it lasts over 4 hours, then it's, you got to
It-
seek medical attention.
I think it was like took too much of like his heart medication. Like it was something very like
Oh,
non-dramatic.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that.
That's
So like
all right.
basically
I wasn't
it was
thinking
like
anything else.
I'm mad at you, I'm gonna cause a scene and take too much of my heart meds kind of a thing.
I
Like
thought it was like the boner thing.
yeah.
Boner.
And so
the
the
audience was all thinking that, but McNew
but of course,
lined it out
like
for us. Thank God
whenever
we got
you
McNew.
don't have neighbors,
Yeah.
they always knock on the door like when you're not clothed. And so like
sure.
they knock on the door and you're like, fuck. And so like throwing on like clothes, like the dogs are barking, like and so like and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course I'll come help your spouse who may be dying. And so like run over to the neighbor's house. And of course, at least I thought to check for pulse. And I was like, he has a pulse and he's breathing. I am not going to do CPR. So we're good. And we're going to wait for we're good. We're going to wait for the ambulance to arrive. And I don't need to like move them.
Is this
out
part of your
bed.
repertoire, Katie? You have to do CPR for the subdivision, or what?
Yeah,
how do you get called
standard
to this?
attorney neighborhood training. you know.
Right.
And so
Your friendly neighborhood attorney.
And the funny thing is, like, afterwards, she was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's okay. It's what neighbors do. And she was like, no, it's not. And I was like, you're right. But I
You're
don't know what else to say. And so I was like, I'm going to go home now. And so and really, I was like, I am an extrovert and I really appreciate that I'm involved in this and like in the center of it. And so really, I just happy I'm over here. So
Right.
All right.
You got a good story for later.
And
Yes.
so but now that I'm in a subdivision, it's gotten much more interesting in my life. So if you've ever heard that everyone has a naked neighbor, and if you don't have a naked neighbor, you are the naked neighbor.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Hands up, I'm the naked neighbor.
Yeah.
And so I specifically purchased my house so that I would not have any neighbors in the back because
Right. Anything goes. Anything goes. Yeah.
my condition for purchasing a house in a subdivision was that I would not have any neighbors behind me. At least I would have trees behind me, at least, so I could have those windows open, and I would only have to keep the front windows closed. Well, my bedroom is in the front, so that's kind of a pain.
That's a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real pain because I like natural light in the mornings. And apparently I have a neighbor across the road who likes to sit on his front porch in the mornings. And so
It's the show.
also my master bathroom also
Oh, gosh.
has a direct view to my front windows if the blinds are open. So I am
That is
very,
just
very
bad
confident
design. Damn.
the old man who lives across the road has had a free view on several occasions. and they get on the
I
very
think it's good
convenient
for him.
times.
I think
That's
that's
good for
good.
him.
You should continue that.
I mean, really, I feel like it's for his health. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
at this
yeah, you're
point.
you're
He's
keeping
got
that
something
man
to
alive.
live
That is,
for.
Yeah,
that's a
I'm
nice
providing a public
gesture,
service, really.
Absolutely.
Just make sure 4
Do
hours
not
later you
stop.
check in
That's
on him.
community service. You're doing a good job. Just keep
Yeah.
doing it.
Never stop.
And then
Never stop.
the last neighbor story is I had a neighbor 2 doors down came over and he did a whiskey tasting in my house. And so we just did like a standard whiskey. I let him choose and kind of figure out what he was liking and did some suggestions and everything was going well. And so he headed home and did well, made it out my front door. I found out the next morning he did not make it home 2 doors down.
Oh,
No.
wow.
What?
What?
He died.
made it to
He
his
died.
landscaping.
He died?
He died,
He
unfortunately.
made it to his landscaping. He did not die. He's fine.
Okay.
But he did not
He
make
made
it
it home.
inside.
Your own yard. You got home if you were in your own yard. He is
He
fine.
couldn't figure out how to get inside his own home. And he ended up
just
like
kinda gave up?
drunkenly calling his girlfriend and like, I can't figure out how to open the door. I'm locked out of the house. It's okay. I'll just sleep in the landscaping. And it was really cold that night. And she was like, go back to the neighbor's house. Like they'll help, like either you can stay there or like they'll help you get into the house. And he was like, no, it's fine. I'll just sleep here. And apparently like laid on his sidewalk and then
And died?
drove from
He
like
died.
20 minutes
Yeah.
away.
He died?
No, he's
he
fine.
died. It's sad.
And
He
so
died.
she came to his house like 20 minutes away and came up and his front door was unlocked. She just walked up and just opened his front door.
Those are hard to turn when you're
Oh, it's
drunk.
very. It can be very
He,
difficult.
he couldn't
to work
figure out the
those doors.
steps. It's fine.
And she was like, I was figuring out, she's like, okay, I can like use his face to unlock his phone. And I know his garage door will like open from an app and I can use the garage door to open the app and then open the door. And she was like, and I just went up and the front door was unlocked. He
Yeah,
could not
there you go.
figure out to
Walk
just
right in.
open the front door. So I don't know, Jeff, if you listen to this podcast, hi buddy. And so
I want Jeff to be my neighbor.
Jeff the
he's
drunk.
not
Yeah.
allowed at my house unsupervised anymore. So Tammy has to be with him
Fair.
or some other supervision. Because so then the next morning we found, and then he called, he's like, hey, did I leave my glasses at your house? And we were like, no. And so we checked my camera on my front door. We're like, you had like your glasses in your hand. And so my boyfriend went out and we found in his landscaping the bottle of Buffalo Trace he had and his glasses
And
and
the
his water
glasses?
bottle all in his landscaping where he went to go take a nap.
Yeah,
That's so
there you go.
funny.
There you go.
So I figured out that sometimes subdivision life is okay. The neighbors can be very
Neighbors can be fun. Yeah.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Kelly, how about you? It seems like you would have a lot of good neighbor stories. For some reason, it seems like Kelly would just attract weird stuff.
Oh.
Happening.
Yes. And actually, the reason I got security cameras installed this week was because I have some delinquents that run around my house. And Katie, I might be texting you for some legal advice later because we don't know how to get them the fuck out of here, but it's fucking crazy. So,
Of course.
this little house that basically is ran by a crackhead on our street.
Oh,
has a
that's
bunch
good.
of
Crackhead
kids.
house.
Yeah, a good crackhead house. You know, there's people driving in and out of it all day. Like, I'm sure it's a dealer's house. Then he has all these kids that run around. And the kids, I've chased after them before, like for bouncing a basketball down the street at 2 a.m. and like ripping people's signs out of their yards and all this. But the other day, it went from like just...
Old Lady Baker's yelling at us again.
Yeah, basically, I felt like an old
Not
lady
even
when I
30
was...
yelling at kids.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Old
I felt
Lady
totally
Baker.
like an old lady. And
Sure.
but
My yard.
the other day it got increasingly weirder. So I look outside. I was actually like I think on my way to the house, and I stopped in the middle of our little like area that goes to our driveway because I saw down the street at this neighbor's house one of these kids had a fucking knife on a rope and was throwing it at a tree and pulling it back towards himself
No,
and
geez.
throwing it back at
Not
the
smart.
tree. He was
Not
having a
smart.
knife throwing practice in his front yard in
No,
the middle of
this
Elkton,
is how
Kentucky.
we learn valuable lessons, like fuck around and find out. Let him
That's
go.
how you lose
Fuck
an
around
eye.
and find
Yeah.
out how
That
you
feels
lose
like
your
culling
eye.
the herd to me. You just
Yeah.
let him
Let him
go.
be
It's Darwin at his
Bye.
best.
You just
so.
let him go. He culls himself out of the herd.
Yeah. Well, I know eventually it'll, natural selection will take over. But I
Okay.
can't wait for that day. And it's to the point where I literally, when I got my wallet stolen, I went to the police station. I told them my address and they were like, "Oh, that street." And I was like,
Oh
"Are you
shit.
fucking kidding me?" Like, yeah,
Hmm.
I got
Interesting.
that. So,
All right,
that's my
McNew.
crackhead neighbor.
Any good neighbor
Oh.
stories for you?
Dear God. So we do live in a cul-de-sac. We live in a subdivision. We're very blessed to have some very, very good neighbors that
That's good.
they are friends. We do have some friends that are neighbors, but I could talk about crazy Courtney because that's what we all call her. But I don't know who listens to this podcast that truly knows me, who would know her because we're from very small towns. So I want to keep that very private. But fucking crazy Courtney is a problem on this cul-de-sac. And, she's there. Her kids are actually nice. She's a problem. But there's her. There was another one. I actually do have good neighbors, but living and I work from home, so I see everything that happens all day, every day. I'm like, and my neighbor next door, Ashley, we love Ashley. Her and I were like, did you see that happen today? Like, we are like the neighborhood bitches.
Wait, how do you
know.
spell Ashley? I need to know how it's spelled so I know what to think about her.
The normal way, the best way.
L-E-Y?
EY.
L-E-Y
Okay.
would be the
Ash
normal.
Ellie
Yeah,
Warren.
she's
All right,
a good
okay.
one. She's a good one.
right.
So her and I see everything that happens all day, every day. So we're like, do you see this shit? Yeah, I saw this shit. So her and I are hard on that. But
Courtney's not in that club though. She's out there.
Nope, and she hates us both. Like,
I want to meet Courtney now. The Courtney's the one I want to talk to.
Oh, no.
I want to get her side. I'll see if she'll come on the show. We'll get Courtney on the show.
Courtney likes our husbands, but Courtney doesn't like us, and Courtney's a problem. So
Okay.
Oh, whoa. What's
Well, it's
Courtney's
always good when
problem?
she likes the
Whoa,
husbands,
whoa,
but not
now.
the wives, right?
Mm-mm.
no,
Always
it's
a good
ma'am.
thing.
Courtney.
yeah. So I don't talk
Bye,
about
Courtney.
but
Bye-bye.
ABV Gal Pal is after Courtney at this point.
Yeah.
Courtney's on the she's on the
Courtney's
shit
on,
list.
You're on the
she's
shit
on the
list.
whole cul-de-sac shit list, really.
Okay.
But
All right. All right.
but besides her, we have some very stuck up. So I think we're all cool. We're all fun on this cul-de-sac, except one neighbor, and they have two girls who might be, I guess they're 15 because they're driving now. We called them the Shining Twins because they would just ride their bikes with helmets on, and they look so fucking funny. And they look too old to have helmets and training wheels. So
They're
Chris
just
and I
being safe. They're being safe.
I'm
missing training wheels.
Shining Twins because they looked fucking creepy on their little tricycles. But now they started driver's ed, and their parents got those fucking magnets to put student driver on their car.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, fucking last summer they had goddamn helmets on. Now they're driving.
Yeah.
Like,
I let Hank keep his dignity. Their parents aren't letting those girls keep their dignity. Yeah.
yeah, no,
That's the difference.
They just very much. I'm like, you went from helmets to stickers to driver's ed stickers. Like, it doesn't make any damn sense. I'm like, they have never scraped a knee in their lives, and they don't hang out with the other cul-de-sac kids. They never hang out with anybody else. And I'm like, we call them Shining Twins for a reason, because I'm like, they are fucking weird. They're very sheltered. They're probably gonna murder somebody someday. I'm watching for it. I don't even know their last name.
Okay. Okay. Hopefully they don't listen. All right. Kathy, you asked the question. Is there any weird neighbor activity by you?
I did, and what I've discovered is I appreciate my weird neighbors
Okay.
Hey.
because I was in bed the other night and there were
Okay, this is going interesting turn. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Hello, neighbor.
I'm in bed the other night. I'm seeing lights on the wall. So cars drive by or whatever.
Sure.
So I get up and I look out back, and my neighbors, someone who doesn't live there is out there cleaning up their yard. They They do not take care of their yard. There's vines everywhere.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have
That's
to
like my
edge.
house. Yeah.
I have to edge both sides of the fence. Like I have to reach my edger over and edge their fence because
Sure.
they don't take care of anything. Someone's out there cutting their bushes and trimming their vines and everything. And I discovered that this happens after dark when they're all in bed. Someone is coming over and taking care of their yard. And it drives me crazy that their yard's a mess, but someone's doing it.
Night gardener. A night gardener. That's wild.
It's
Yeah.
like
The
John
night
Wick.
gardener watch.
It's like John Wick, night gardener.
Hi, I'm John Wick, night gardener.
This is a weird thing that's happening.
Jim would watch that movie if it comes out. So, yeah. There you go. He loves John Wick. Oh, he
Oh
loves
my
that John Wick.
God.
Yeah.
And I sat at my window and I watched these people clean up this other person's yard for like 15 minutes. I'm like, I gotta go to bed.
After dark, they're cleaning up on there. Yeah.
My parents across the street neighbor he like power washes or leaf blows at like 9 or 10 at night, and it's his own yard.
Yeah. It's his own yard.
It's just
It
so
may be
bizarre.
I would
Hell
not have
no.
known there if they weren't using the flashlights, which were then reflecting into my house.
Yeah,
And I was like, what's going on out there?
that's
Oh,
so
they're-
annoying.
They're doing yard work by flashlight in someone else's yard.
Yeah. After dark. Yeah.
It's weird when it's someone else's yard. That's my only problem.
Yeah.
It's not your own yard.
It's called trespassing. Yeah. So, yeah.
I think it
Like,
may have been. I think it may have been the parents of one of the people. Like it, they're a couple, their family, and I think it was one of their parents.
Well, I
They're
guess that's
like-
okay then.
Your yard's a mess. I'm gonna.
But it seems like if it's the parents, why do they have to do it after dark? It seems like they could be like,
right.
I'm going to help you
Why
out with
did
this.
they have
I'll
to
be
do
over
that?
at
You
2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday.
parents be doing weird things.
Sometimes
be
parents
doing
are whipped,
weird
you know.
They don't always just make
Sure,
sense.
sure. Parents are nutty. We know that. All right. Well, and now we drink. So what is everyone drinking? Let's start with Kaylee Baker. Kaylee, what do you got?
Got this Peerless Double Oaked that I just pulled off the shelf, but that sounded good right now. All right.
Okay. Okay. Decent.
Base.
Could be enough. Could be enough.
Stacy?
I've got David Nicholson, 1843. So let's see what we got here. All right, here we go. Kaylee still has the lead. I didn't offer much there with that. So, all right, McNew, you're next.
I have some old bits like that $17 one you can only find in certain states. That is
Yeah.
so damn good. But
That's a
it's
good one.
So,
That's
no
screw
problem.
top. Okay. All right, Kathy, you're next.
I am gonna pull out the seagrass.
Oh, gotta like the seagrass. Okay. Okay. Not enough there. I think Kaylee's still got the lead, but of course we've got Katie to go still. Katie, what do you got?
I've got a bottle of some old Bardstown.
Okay, Old Bardstown.
Oh, if I can.
Strike one. She hurt her hand. Oh,
Oh,
that was
So
good.
good.
Worth
That was
the
really
injury.
That was worth the injury for sure. So yeah, you win. Congratulations to Katie. Cheers,
Go
gang.
Katie.
Here's Katie.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about Gallo getting involved in bourbon now. We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only sells single barrels. Owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot select. With over 100 distilleries on board to sell us barrels, we are home to the most unique and diverse barrel pick selections in the bourbon world. By signing up for our email, you will always know what we have in stock. In addition to the single barrels, we'll have a gift shop featuring ABV Barrel Shop as well as ABV Network merchandise. We are partnering with vendors like Art Eatables and Old Man Bay Signs to bring you unique items you can't find anywhere else. We will also have a 24-seat classroom where we are offering educational and fun classes like Breakfast and Bourbon, a series where we pair donuts and bourbon, customer barrel picks, and opportunities to learn from master distillers and other bourbon dignitaries. Best of all, we feature a tasting bar where you can try before you buy. All of this is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis area, please stop by to say hi. If you're traveling in from outside the area, please take advantage of our hotel rates with the Drury Inn and Pear Tree Inn, less than a mile from our shop. This can be done via the links in our Visit St. Louis section on our website. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to plan your trip. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about the Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent trips to Kentucky. Today, he is amongst the leaders of young distillers leaving their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery yields insight on their unique family history, why their products are special, and gives you the opportunity to taste their whiskey, moonshine, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com or visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
This is Mr. Bill. You're listening to the Bourbon Daily. And I'll drink to that.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we are talking about Gallo Wines investing in bourbon.
Yes, we are. So Gallo, now, of course, so we've seen them invest in other things. They're expanding beyond just wine. And now they are getting into bourbon. So they made their first investment in bourbon. Horse Soldier, which I don't know if you've heard about them. I mean, kind of a startup, but announced, I think, last year, maybe a year and a half ago, that they are going to be opening this huge distillery in Kentucky. A big project, like I think they bought out like a golf course, so a lot of land, and they are building this Taj Mahal of distilleries, a lot of cool things, and it sounds like a big project, and maybe ran into some financial issues. I don't know, but now Gallo is involved in that. So what do we think about this? What do we think about Gallo getting into bourbon?
Makes me upset that I didn't think to grab my bottle of Horse Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they've got Black Box, they've got Arbor Mist, they've got Barefoot, they've got Boone's Farm. Clearly, Horse Soldier and bourbon is the next step from that.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly.
Here's my thing with that is like they have wines that sell, but they're not premium wines, right? Like those are like our bottom shelf wines.
Right.
But they're picking up Horse Soldier, which people think highly of. And I think this is good for Horse Soldier on a marketing level because they're going to meet so many other people to buy more customers. But I don't want to see Horse Soldier demoted like these wines are. And I like these wines. I buy these wines because I love a cheap wine. But I don't want to see Horse Soldier become
the Boone's Farm of bourbon.
That's what I'm struggling with.
Exactly.
Right.
I like the size of the portfolio, but I don't like the quality of the portfolio. And that's the comparison of what I'm struggling with here.
Yep.
Yeah, that's tough. So back in my day, Boone's Farm was the wine that we used to go to the grocery store and pull up into our coat sleeves and walk out with because we were legal.
Because it's literally $3. Nobody's
He's past the statute of limitations, I would like to add. So
she can talk about that all she wants.
No
She is free to discuss this topic.
Okay. That's
Thank
good.
God for Katie.
I would like
Liberty
to add
and
my
justice.
Boone's Farm story is that we, as teenagers, would sit around, and the rule was that you would finish your bottle of Boone's Farm, and you would not stand up until you finished your bottle. And then at the end, you would stand, and your tongue was like completely blue or whatever color from the Boone's Farm.
Yeah.
And then really it was partially a sugar high from the amount of sugar you would just consume, but also some of the alcohol from then standing up and deciding how much you had from consuming the entire bottle of it.
Right.
And I mean, like that comparison to any whiskey or bourbon is kind of hard to comprehend. But I mean, Black Box kind of gets there of like the boxed wine that they're kind of trying to get into a little more reputable and some of the wines in their list. But Arbor Mist and Barefoot and Boone's from all of that. I mean, oh.
So, do they have any premium wines? I mean, I remember when I was a kid, they would be, we shall sell no wine before it's time.
Nothing I would consider premium.
Okay. I thought they were a premium player back in the 70s, whenever those commercials were on. Maybe.
We've got the jug wine.
Orson Welles used to
The
go
jug wines and the wine coolers. Weren't they one of the initial wine cooler
low coolers.
distributors?
Yeah, seems like it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't see, like, the products I know they have are not premium, and it's fine. We like them. We get them for the reasons we get them, which is to get drunk and hungover because they're full of sugar. Their wines are not premium wines, so I hope it just doesn't demote Horse Soldier because they were doing good things on their own. So this is a weird partnership on their part. It makes sense for Gallo. It doesn't make sense for a Horse Soldier.
So the only thing is that they haven't put it under the main name. They've put it under a different umbrella, technically. So maybe it is that they're just using the power they have of being in so many different stores because, I mean, they're in everywhere.
Yeah.
Barefoot is freaking everywhere.
Right.
If you think about it. So the power of that they can go in any store they want with this for the most part under this umbrella, that's power right there. So as long as they're protective under it. Wow. You can tell this is the fifth show we're doing.
That's a legal term. Protective under it.
Yeah.
So as long as they are protective of it under this umbrella they're creating, I think they could do a good job with it. They could use the power they have created under this cheaper brand that is literally everywhere and use that high quantity level and you put the quality in there to get it in the places where other places that are high quality, lower quantity that they can't get in the locations.
I think they're just trying to get into bourbon.
Yeah.
Just trying to put their foot into popularity.
And they, it's going to be a Kentucky bourbon. So I think, if you're getting into bourbon, being in Kentucky sounds pretty cool. So, yeah. Horse Soldier building this big distillery, which will create a lot of goodwill and things like that. I assume everyone's going to want to go there when they get this place open. If it comes out to be like what it's been described as, sounds pretty awesome. Like there'll be like a statue thing, like when you go in there celebrating, the soldiers of this unit that is started.
So is the statue going to be of Ernest and Julio Gallo?
Maybe it will be now. Yeah, and Orson Welles. So he used to do their advertising. So. Yeah, it'll be Ernest and Julio and then Orson, which would be cool. It's a cool statue park. We've lost McNew now. I don't know what she's doing.
I'm here.
She's on her OnlyFans, just updated.
No.
I'm almost done. We'll be done soon.
Haley.
We'll be done soon. Yeah. So there you go.
He's not yelling at us from like the floor of a bathroom, so we're good.
We're good. Yeah.
Oh, here.
She's still upright.
Is still upright. So, all right. Well, there you go. There's a look at what's going on. Gallo is now in the bourbon business. We'll see what happens. Should be interesting to watch. And is it a positive or negative thing? I don't know. It's TBD right now. So
definitely something to watch, though. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Kaylee, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can come see me at Leatherwood Distillery or find me on Instagram at Kaleo Baker or at the Bourbon Bakers.
All right, Kathy.
Kaylee, congratulations on opening the second facility.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you so much.
Really big. Very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
You can find me on Instagram at KKCastStrength.
All right, Katie.
Me? I'm an easy gal to find. You can find me over on Instagram at Katie Proof. I've got a website, but I'm not going to tell you that because it's a company website that's law related and not whiskey related. I'm going to fuck off now because I think that's enough of stealing Steve's little bit on his intro.
All right. McNew, how about you?
I am on Instagram at McNew ABV. Make sure you follow 5 other accounts before you request me.
There you go. That's part of her vetting out process. Kathy, you want to try to do because I saw you mouthing it before. Let's see if you can actually do it.
She's so good mouthing it.
Let's see if she can do it.
Let's see
if I can do it. I'm C. Bakley. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and
He has a website. He's got to find.
He's a website at stevebakley.com. But if you really want to know what I'm doing, I'm at the abvnetwork.com, where you can find all of our shows, our podcasts, and you can also contact the ABV Barrel Shop, where I am selling single barrels like a pro and changing the bourbon world in Arnold, Missouri.
It was much better when you were mouthing
This was all pretty.
One bottle at a time. We're
The
changing the world
attitude
one
she
bottle at a time.
gives when mouthing it is really the beauty, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's good. That's
If
good.
you
It's all
haven't
over. It
sat
was
here,
gorgeous.
And
If
now
you
we
haven't
need
sat
Steve
here
to
and
tell us
mouthed-
Kathy's Instagram.
yeah, if
What
you
we need.
haven't sat here and mouthed the last part of the show, then you're not really into.
You're not a pro. You haven't been through it. You haven't been through it.
Hi, I'm Kathy. Follow me at KKCaststrength on Instagram. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I would like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That
Stunning
includes
by
comments.
impression.
It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV
I
Network.
almost killed Katie there. So, there you go. All right, great.
McNew is the professional here
Yeah. Oh yeah, she stuck with it.
because she totally overwrote all that crap.
I can't believe she just did that.
Yeah.
Like she's carried on.
She did.
Haley, you want to try my sign off? See if you can do that.
I can definitely do the last part.
Well, no, you got to do the whole thing. You got to do the whole
Kayla's got
thing.
it.
Oh, you okay? All right.
All right, go
Oh
ahead.
shit!
There's nothing to read. I don't have that written down.
I don't even know where to. I
Jeez.
don't even know where to start. Yeah, I can do that.
Great job today, gang. For
Yeah.
our audience, we'll
Let's see you tomorrow.
Well, you show up for you
and,
tomorrow. Until then, peace.
Peace.
terrible.
This is like
That's it.
church.
Wait, I didn't get
It's like
close
being
enough.
in church. You think
I didn't-
you know what everyone's saying until
Right.
there's no one else there, and you realize you just went along with it,
Right.
and then you realize you really don't know it until you're the
You
only
thought
one.
you knew the
Right.
lyrics, had them very wrong the whole time.
Great
Okay,
job to the gang,
I
gang.
wasn't
For our audience,
close
we'll have
enough.
a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that.
on
Until
3.
then, take care, everybody.
Okay.
See ya. Peace be with you. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with a national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, But if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.